Right, everybody, welcome back. These are the 5 things we learned from Manchester United's game versus PAOK in the Europa League. It was a great 3 points by Manchester United, a much needed 3 points. We're going to be talking about the 5 biggest key points from the game. I'll talk about some individual players, some issues I thought that were in the game. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So, the first thing we learned, AMAD statement. AMAD actually made a statement, and it wasn't about, obviously the goals had a massive part to play in that, but his overall general performance was fantastic. He's a player who, in the game yesterday against PAOK, was absolutely fantastic from start to finish. Like he should be fine, hopefully, for the game against Leicester, because he would be the first name on the team sheet. His performance was absolutely fantastic. He was really sharp on the ball, really, really good defensively, and also scored 2 fantastic goals. I mean, that header was absolutely fantastic. And the second goal, it was just hard work, determination, intensity. Spotted an opportunity, went to got the ball back, and was absolutely fantastic. I think he was definitely the man of the match. And listen, Ten Hag made that decision to drop him. He continued to go with Rashford and Garnacho, and I think AMAD proved yesterday why he should be starting games for Manchester United. I think you look at that attack, it has been struggling recently, which I'll talk about later on. But he really took the game, and it was literally AMAD 2, PAOK 0. Like, no one else in the team did as much as he did. He was putting good crosses in. He was winning duels. He was inviting people on to kind of press, organising press, getting the fans in the game. And what has been, he hasn't started a game in over a month for Manchester United. To go in yesterday, have a big performance, and that's ultimately what you want to see from AMAD. And he's put his name on the team sheet for the game on Sunday, which will be a rude final game against Leicester going forward now under Amorim. I think he's a player that he will like a lot. He's kind of, and in Atalanta, he was used to playing in that 3-4-3 system, picking up spaces in the channels. He can play in that inside forward, even that right wing back role. He's an absolutely fantastic player. And yesterday was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, very, very happy with AMAD. And there is a lot of improvement to go. But what he's showing so far is fantastic. I mean, he should have had a penalty as well. He's a very tricky winger, very unpredictable, and that's something you love to see at Manchester United, and something that we haven't really had over the years. You have Rashford, Garnacho, 2 very selfish wingers. AMAD likes to create, put crosses in. So yeah, and that header was absolutely fantastic. So that's the first thing we learned. AMAD Diallo makes a statement. Now, number 2, I want to talk about Højlund's struggles. Højlund struggled yesterday, but not only yesterday, in most of the games this season. He hasn't scored many goals. And listen, I think that is a Højlund issue, but it's also more of a team issue. I think Højlund, listen, he's not really creating chances. And all the chances he does create for himself, we're not creating chances for him. He normally drops deep to get the ball. His first touch was woeful yesterday, and I think he did struggle. We know he's a great striker with a lot of potential and can definitely score goals. We've seen it. But again, he's had a slow start to the season. And I think under Amorim, the most important thing is we must be able to create chances for our striker. Gyökeres, if you want to compare him with someone who scored lots of goals at Sporting. And if you compare him to Højlund's performance, particularly yesterday, which was relatively poor. His first touch, he had a few chances where he just couldn't latch onto it. And I think he did struggle a lot in the game now. Our other attacker, Xerxes, he's not really proven to be much. So it is sort of a striker issue. I think the defensive midfielders looked pretty solid the past few games. It's all about the attack now. I think having AMAD on the right will massively help. But I think the defence and midfield, as I said, but the attack needs a lot of improvement. And Højlund did really, really struggle yesterday. And it was a game where United expected goals. We thought we would win maybe 3-4-0, but ultimately that didn't happen. And that's a testament to PAOK, really. I thought they did play relatively well. But again, United were very, very poor in the final third, and that's something Amorim must obviously assess. Now, the next thing, the third thing, lack of intensity. The game against Chelsea, the game again today, there's been the game yesterday, there have been moments where we lacked intensity. There wasn't really that cutting edge, that desire to go out and win the ball, and that's something that only really AMAD showed throughout the game. I think Højlund, Garnacho, Rashford, when they were on the pitch, didn't really have that intensity and fight. And that's something that ultimately at times can win your game, that constant intensity to go and win the ball back, hunt the press, just look ready for it. It's just something that United didn't really offer. I think, again, players did struggle. I think that lack of intensity, though, has to be there in Amorim. You have to be wanting to win the ball back. If you want to be one of the highest pressing teams in the league, you have to go and win the ball back, and that's something that United haven't done. And we didn't do yesterday. PAOK had a lot of possession around their box and were distributing it fantastically well. Like Højlund, Bruno, they do a lot of running around, but it has to be organised, it has to be together. And that's something that United haven't done. So I think it was a big lack of intensity. from some of the players. There wasn't that extra push that we need, and that normally comes when we're at home, but I don't think it was there yesterday. There just simply wasn't enough going on. Now, the fourth thing we learned, decision making. Decision making was very, very poor again yesterday. I thought Garnacho's decision making was shocking. There was a few crosses to the low, which he should have put in, which I don't think were good enough. I think Rashford decision making at times as well when he came on the pitch. I think Delo as well, some weird headers and some weird decision making. Onana, even the simple things just going long when you can just pass it, taking a lot of time on the ball, and that's something that I think Amarim will change. But ultimately, yeah, it was a lack of decision making. There was a few opportunities where we could have put crosses in, crosses being overhit, passes being underhit. Silly fouls in midfield shouldn't, and that's something that must change in the Amarim. So that's the fourth thing we learned. Now the fifth and final thing we learned from the game is Mazraoui. I really want to talk Mazraoui. I know there are other things as well that we learned, but I thought Mazraoui's performance yesterday, not only against Chelsea, but again, and in every game he's played for United this season, has been fantastic, whether that be on the right, on the left. I think it's important to keep them on one side to kind of, for the fluidity. I think Amarim will definitely like the use of him. You could see him start his first game. He's a fantastic player, and only for £12 million, he's had very, very good performance, Mr. Consistent. He might not get the most goals and assists, but what his job is absolutely vital, getting involved in the attacking play. And looking very, very sharp as well, so very, very happy with him. I think he's very, very good, and has some very, very good abilities that makes him a top-class quality Manchester United player. I think he will continue to improve. He's only played 14-15 games in the Premier League, or not even that, so yeah, has done relatively well. But yeah, let's see what happens. Don't forget to always leave a like, comment and subscribe. There have been the 5 things we learned ahead of the game. 5 things we learned from the game versus PAOK. It was a big win for Manchester United and a great 3 points. Thanks for watching. Peace.